Everyone, welcome back. I am back to cover this NBA slate for tonight. So we got another 2-game slate, so something that we did not think we would get, but because this Denver game is now a game 7, they fit in the Boston game with that, so it's going to be another 2-gamer. This is definitely the last one because whoever wins that Nuggets series they'll play on separate days, but thankfully we got another one, so looking forward to it. Let's get started. We have a new matchup here, Boston and Miami, so that will be interesting. And then the Nuggets have just been the comeback kings recently. We'll see if they can pull off another upset against the Clippers tonight. But let's get started at point guard as always. Before we get into it, I appreciate if you hit the like button on the video and subscribe if you have not already. So at the top, at point guard, Jamal Murray is $8,700. He looks fine. Nikola Jokic has been kind of going off recently. He shot 9 of 13, but still only put up 38 fantasy points. The Clippers are not like the Jazz. They're not going to let him get comfortable and go off for 50 plus. I don't see that happening in Game 7. I can kind of see a little bit of a lower scoring game as the defenses of both teams really tighten up. Kemba is $7,700. He had a really tough series, although they won. Especially the last couple of games of that series, they were running like a box and one, so Kemba was not able to kind of do what he likes to do. He was getting met with a lot of pressure at the top of the key, had to give it up, and just couldn't really find his shot. He's still playing a boatload of minutes, probably will get around 36 to 40 in this first game. He's $7,700. It's he's going to be matched up against Dragic, so it's a fine spot for him. He has been decent against them this year. I definitely think Kemba is in a pretty good spot to bounce back from the last couple of games. Dragic at 73, I think he looks good too, but Kemba, I like him a little bit more. Marcus Smart is up to $6,900. I think he looks fine. You probably can hope that he just goes nuts in like the blocks and steals department for him to really pay off this salary, or if it goes into like overtime or something like that. But overall, $7K for Smart, I think it's okay, but I would like to get up to Kemba. I think Kemba's in a better spot. Lou Williams is 55, Game 7. He's probably going to play more. Reggie Jackson hasn't really touched the floor. He played like 1 minute the last couple of games, so really it's Lou Williams. They're going to try to get more minutes too. Probably could get around like 27 if he's playing really good tonight. He's just been having a tough time hitting value because he doesn't really get a ton of peripherals, doesn't get rebounds. The assists are up and down. But just playing alongside George and Leonard, especially in this Game 7, they're going to be the top 2 dogs. And then I think Monty Morris is another guy that you could consider at $3,600. But personally, I like Kemba at 77. Just the price tag is reasonable. The matchup is probably a good spot for him to get anybody else other than Toronto, especially after how bad he struggled the last couple of games. At shooting guard, I like Paul George. He's $8,600. He has been playing pretty good basketball. He had 6 stocks last game. The shot's been falling for him this series recently, and it's another spot where I expect him to continue. He should play like 40-plus minutes tonight. Definitely reasonable at $8,600. You have Jimmy Butler, who I think is fine. Jaylen Brown has just been doing awesome, especially in like the rebounding department. He's been getting a ton of rebounds. He shoots a lot too. He shoots like 17 to 20 times a game. And he's actually been racking up steals, so he's been an all-around really good player. It's against Miami. They like to shoot a lot. There's going to be opportunities for rebounds here and more opportunities for him to get steals. With Miami, they do turn the ball over at a decent clip. So Brown at 8K, definitely think that's reasonable for how well he's been playing. I love Tyler Hero. At his price point, he is just been playing great off the bench, and he's gotten a lot of minutes. Last series got up to 37. In that closeout game, he's been playing in the mid to low 30s regularly, and it's a spot against Boston. They're really good defensively, but if he's going to be out there on the court for 30-plus minutes, definitely a guy that can fill it up because he is a high-usage player. He does get rebounds, he gets you assists, has the ball in his hands a lot more than a guy like Duncan Robinson. So like Tyler Hero, I think you could look at Gary Harris as well. And that's kind of it. There's nobody else. Maybe Kendrick Nunn if you want to really go with the flyer, but I feel good about Tyler Hero at 54. At small forward, Kawhi Leonard is 10-4. He's been fine this series. He's had a couple of monster games. That one monster game was when Paul George was in some heavy foul trouble, but I think he's probably fine for like 50s to probably like 55 to 60 something fantasy points tonight. Don't know if he'll make the optimal, but definitely if we can get up to him, he looks great. I like Leonard more than Tatum. There's only $700 difference, so I would get up to Kawhi. And then Brown and Butler. I think more people go Butler. I don't mind going with Brown as maybe he gets less ownership. Both teams are pretty good at defense, so it's going to be tough for both guys. But Brown has been really aggressive shooting. There's some games where Jimmy Butler just becomes passive and doesn't shoot a lot, but Brown is going to shoot a bunch. He plays a lot of minutes, and $8K. It's a high price tag. Never thought I would pay that much for Jaylen Brown, but been liking what I've been seeing from him. He's been aggressive, and he's actually been his shot's been falling most times. So that's all you can really ask for Jaylen Brown. Michael Porter Jr. He's been up and down this series, really depending on how much minutes he gets. With them really needing some scoring and probably going to play a big role in this one off the bench if they do get behind early, just because he can fill it up. So definitely like Michael Porter at 53. Think he can pay that off. Grant has been disappointing just because he doesn't get a lot of usage. Was in some foul trouble last game, only played 20 minutes, so that was surprising. But I definitely like Porter over Grant. Only $400 savings. Porter has a much higher ceiling. And for some cheap plays, there's nobody really I would go cheap with. Yeah, I don't think I'll go with really anybody else cheaper than that at small forward. At power forward, I like Jay Crowder at 58. He has just been really filling up his role. He's been shooting threes and making them. That's all he really shoots is threes. He can get you some rebounds, some assists, just all around playing good minutes against Boston, former team, so maybe some revenge on his mind, but either way, he's going to be out there because he's a above average defender. They have a bunch of good wings, so he's a good defender and he can shoot the three. Definitely think he's going to continue to play 30 plus minutes. At center, Jokic has just been amazing. He's 10K. He has been able to do whatever he wants this series. Maybe the Clippers decide to double team him or something because they haven't been able to slow him down. He's been shooting above 50% in most of these games. Probably will play 42 minutes plus tonight, and they just have no answer for him. So definitely like Jokic if you wanted to pay up for somebody. I like Bam at 84 against Boston. They're undersized at that position. And then Zubac, I like. He's 4,800. Harrell has just been so bad this series. He's 4,200. The minutes for Harrell continue to kind of go down, 22, 18, 16, 15. Won't be surprised if he doesn't play a lot, especially if he struggles out of the gate again. And you're getting a guy in Zubac who has struggled shooting, but he's still been getting the rebounds. Like 1 of 6, 2 of 8 shooting is not what you expect from Zubac. The minutes are up, so I do like that with how bad Harrell has been. If he normally shoots how he's been, a 60% shooter from the floor, definitely going to be paying off a $4,800 price tag. So definitely like Zubac at that price point. And then I think I like Bam at my util at 8,400. Just select the spot for him against Boston. They're really undersized. Tice doesn't. He can shoot the three, but he doesn't shoot it very often. He's normally around the paint. So good spot for Bam to get some rebounds, putbacks, maybe some blocks. He can really fill it up, and he can get you assists as well for a big guy. So definitely like him. He has 50 plus point upside at 8,400. And that's it for the DraftKings side. Let's jump over to Fanduel. Alright, over on Fanduel, starting off at point guard, we have Jamal Murray at 8,400. It's a pretty reasonable price tag if you want to get up to him. In Game 7, Kemba is also affordable at 74. Then we have Dragic at 7K. Probably will try to focus on the top 3 guys, get at least one of them. And then for value, you have Lou Williams at 55. And then a bunch of guys who might not play a lot of minutes. So you have 4 legitimate options. Personally, I like Kemba again on FanDuel at 74. Shooting guard, we have Paul George, really cheap at 79. Butler is only 8K. And then Smart is 6,400. All 3 of those guys look good. Gary Harris a little bit too expensive at 57. I think he's much better on DraftKings. And then I love Tyler Hero. He's my favorite, just point per dollar wise, at just 5,000. At small forward, Jaylen Brown looks really good at 78. Crowder looks great at 51. You literally have like 3 guys to play at this position. So I think I'll go with Crowder. Power forward, Bam looks really good. You have Porter, who looks fine at 5,200. And then if you want to get all the way up to Tatum, who's 98, it's really expensive. Don't think I will do that. I like Michael Porter tonight. I think he's going to get some good minutes. 5,200 has the upside. Nothing wrong with that. And then at center, just Zubats, just 47. Just know that he's a much better shooter, especially because he just shoots at the rim than he's been this series or the last couple games. So just hopefully he can hit at least half his shots, and if he does, he should be getting you at least 6x return if he's going to be getting 29 to 30 plus minutes again. So that's pretty much it for this Tuesday slate. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and best of luck tonight.